mud and leaf mould, and my mind with long-lost memories of childhood conker-gathering. The bubbling of an adjoining stream dispelled these thoughts. How, I wondered, might that noise be replicated on a printed page? Each time I tried to spell it out, it sounded different. Then, barely noticing that I was running, I was out in the gently sloping pastures beyond, where wide-eyed sheep gawped like bonneted extras in a costume drama, dumbstruck and woolly-headed. "What are you looking at?" I snarled at one, then felt ashamed. There was really very little to be grumpy about. I breathed in the delicious air, sweet with agricultural smell, and touched with the moisture of the deepening evening. Its flavour could barely have changed in centuries. My mind wandered further, taking my feet with it. At one point, I think I was running and daydreaming about running at the same time. On the skyline to my right, the higher slopes were lit up, golden from the shining sunset. One bare fell top in particular, the nearest, seemed to have turned to molten metal. It glowed in the darkening sky like the flattened tip of a red-hot poker. I left the way and climbed towards it, following a thin half-path of flattened grass straight up the slope until I was breathless, drenched in sweat and striding out across the windy summit. I roamed where the land took me, haphazardly, relishing the feel of the soft, dry turf. I followed sheep trods when I found them, and my nose when I didn't, listening as the skylark's songs came and went in the gusting wind, and glancing only occasionally at the distinctive promontory to the north that I was using as a navigational reference point. Worries about work, money, and family were blown from my mind. For the first time in hours, I wasn't subconsciously keeping track of what needed to be done next. Instead, I let myself be mesmerized by the lengthening shadows of the wind-swept grass, and, increasingly, the lichen-coated stones strewn all around. What, I wondered, was each one's story? Some were clearly the remnants of walls, piled up by farmers within living memory. Others might well have been untouched since being thrown up by nature tens of thousands of years ago. The rest? I had no idea, but did not let that stop me speculating about hill forts and battles, ancient Britons, Romans, Mercians and Danes, and any number of long-forgotten lives lived out against a backdrop scarcely distinguishable from what I saw around me. Did their ghosts ever wander on this hilltop? Were they mingling with these shadows now? That's one of the things I love about running. It's the part of my life where I regularly jump onto trains of thought with no idea of where they're going, thinking, while running, about not running, and then find myself at unexpected destinations. By the time I remembered myself, the sun had almost slipped below the opposite skyline. I hurried down the fellside, enjoying the perfect texture of the turf, dry enough to grip, soft enough to be painless, and feeling, for no earthly reason, rather pleased with myself. Then, as I neared the bottom, I saw what looked like a ghost running towards me. He was tall and haggard, dressed in a clumsy combination of singlet, long-sleeved top and baggy shorts, each in a slightly different shade of pale, washed-out yellow gold. He may have been as young as 30. If so, something about his expression or complexion seemed to reveal the future old man within. His sallow face seemed etched with shadows, like those on a playing card king. I suppose he was exhausted, but his grimace suggested horror rather than pain. Never, not even at a marathon finishing line, have I seen a runner whose gait was so overwhelmingly suggestive of suffering. He wasn't moving particularly fast and seemed to wince with each step. Yet he looked like a serious runner.